My name's Helen, I'm the Diddy Stitcher, my pronouns are she, her. It is Friday the 9th of May. It's a glorious day outside. I've done a bit of work already. It's like really silly. I had a presentation to do for all of our GMs, and it ended up being 10 minutes. But I was like really not scared, but like you've seen sometimes on these videos, sometimes I just stop words coming out of my mouth. Mouth doesn't and I don't know if it's my mood or time of the month, the hormone-y things or what, but like recently, in the last like 2 weeks or so, it's been like particularly bad, especially when I'm like under pressure. So I was a bit nervous about it, but my manager was lovely, was like on the call with me. My deck didn't work properly or whatever, so anyway, it all went fine. I didn't die. I didn't corpse, as they say. So I made myself an iced coffee and went for a little walk for my mental health, and we're going to do a video now that that's over. I was going to do it this morning, but then I was like, no, that's too much. I'm in waiting mode for that. So I'll talk about my card today, because it's the card that I pulled this morning. It's the 9 of Pentacles, which is all about success. So that was a nice nice boost to have. So I like doing tarot to like set you up for the day, and I was kind of asking how this would go, and it's pretty positive. So yeah. But you're not here to listen to me talk about work. You're here to listen to me talk about my cross stitch, I think. So I've got nowhere for those, but I do have a finish, and it is a finish, but I made it an early finish, because this would put me on my 5th video in a row that I had a finish, and I was excited about that. So without further ado, here is my finish of Moonface Bellpole. I should have. This is the point of this. There is no rules. Should have waited till the 12th, which is what, Monday? Which would have been the full on new moon. I can't remember which. But yeah, I wanted to finish it, and there was only 300 and odd stitches. Well, the last time you saw it, there was like, I hadn't done this. So this is what it looked like before. So I've had 2 sessions on it, which was 843 stitches in total. So yeah, I was going to show you anyway because I'd worked on it, and then I was like, I should just do the last 300 stitches or so. I'll just leave it here for you to appreciate for a little bit. This is, so yeah, specs. This is Moonface Bellpole, charted by Tiny Modernist on a 40 count linen, hand dyed by Kaylee of the sewing shop.ca. She did this for a group of us, all doing this on this Aurora type fabric, and I just couldn't be happier with the whole thing. It's a beautiful pattern, it's a beautiful fabric. I've ordered some hardware, so I'm going to do a Bellpole finish. I'm going to keep it quite wide. I think just do a drawn thread hem or a rolled hem or something like that, just to finish it. The back is not too bad. I don't know if it'll need some sort of backing. Maybe just some black felt just to keep it sturdy. I think I'll be okay with the... I've ordered a Bellpole hardware that's like metal. And I've ordered 2 of them because I thought you put one on the top and then you put one at the bottom to like hold it down. But it only came... I had to buy 2. It didn't come as a set. And I don't know if that's normal. So I don't know if it's going to be too heavy with the one at the bottom, whether I should just get a little piece of dowel or something. We'll see. I've ordered 2 just to be safe. So yeah, that's that. Close up. Cheryl of the Tiny Modernist is an excellent designer. The shading on those moons is so pretty. The border wasn't too bad. You got in a little rhythm of it. 16 stitches in each of those triangles. And then all the doodads were fun to do. I think I got something in the wrong place, but that's fine. The trees, I'm glad I started at the bottom to get those trees out of the way. And then Megan gave us, let me get this in the light, charted us a little moose. So I did it 1/1. It's just not stitched. So I'd already stitched this side of the trees, I think, when that idea came up. So I frogged out those bits. Let me see if I can get. So it's a tiny, tiny moose, 1/1. And I just think, like, you know, how tall moose are, how tall those trees must be. I gave a nice, like, kind of that forced perspective kind of thing. But yeah, it's a finish. So yeah, hopefully it'll be an FFO. I did get to a point where I didn't have anything finished that wasn't fully finished. But now I've got quite a few things because there's stuff that I'm kind of waiting to do, so I don't want to get too many. So I'll try and finish this. Yeah, like with a pulled hem or something. Something cute. But yeah, this fabric is amazing. I think it's on Kaylee's shop. You can ask her. She's really good at doing stuff like that. And she has, you know, loads of other really unusual pattern fabrics that she dyes. It's just brilliant. So yeah, that's that. I'm so happy. I can't wait to get it hung on the wall. I think I'm going to put it in my bedroom. It's probably the best spot for it. So yeah, so I did have a new start. I can't remember when I finished. I don't know. Yeah, I finished Serenity last video. Check my notes. Yes, I finished that, and the note that I had of what to start when I finished that was The Little Hexes by D's 20 Stitches, and I started it on May 2nd for the hashtag halfway to Halloween Sal I don't know if it's hosted by Jason X Stitches or he's just along for the ride too, but I did. So these are the charts. There are 3 different charts. Artwork is by Uncanny Kari, and it's charted by D of D's 20 Stitches. I am like smushing them all together on one piece of fabric, and I'm gonna make a pillow, I think, for Halloween. So this is where I started. It's a 28 count, is it 28? Yeah, 28 count even weave in lavender by Strikeout. I'm doing it 1/1 because I want it to make a pillow, because I'll probably put it with my Halloween decorations. It's not something that I would have out all the time. I'd like to have it with my other spooky stuff. So I didn't want to frame it. So I've put it 1/1 so I can make it into a pillow. It'd be a pretty big pillow, but that's good. So yeah, I just started with the outline of the cup and put in that green. So this is just DMC, the call for DMC. But it's been on my list to do for quite a while, so I thought halfway to Halloween was good. My needleminder is a cauldron from Kate Blanford on Etsy. I don't know if she has her own website. I'll link below. If you're in the UK, she's brilliant. Does needleminders and floss drops, and you've probably heard of her. And I think she ships worldwide, but who knows now with, regulations and tariffs and whatnot. Go check her out. Go follow her on Facebook. God. Early 2000s. On Instagram. Because she's just fun to follow anyway, even if you don't buy her stuff. So yeah, I'm not counting stitches because it's paper pattern, 3 paper patterns. And last week I was talking about rows, some of the paper patterns that I'm my increments are in rows, and how to track that on Notion. And I figured out a way that I'm kind of happy with. The only thing I need Natty's help. She did message me, but then she was at Stitch Knot, so she's been very busy, is on the summary, because I've got the progress bar. I figured out for it to say if it's the progress based on the stitches or progress based on the rows. I'm not explaining this very well if you don't know anything about Notion, but I'm semi-happy with it. I just need the summary bit to do that as well. And Natty wrote this huge code that I don't want to start picking apart. That's it. Anyway, I'm not tracking stitches and I'm not tracking rows because I don't think it'll take me that long to do this, that it'll be on my rotation for long. Anyway, maybe I should. I don't know. I'm not bothered right now. So other things that I worked on was, I don't remember which way I held this before. This is Christmas Tree Mandala from Chatelaine. It's one of their teeny ones. It's really bad lighting. Oh, there we go. You don't get the glare from the back of the window. I can't remember which way up I held this before. Here's what it looked like last time I showed you. I had this corner done. So then I'm working on this corner. So my increment for this is to have a corner done. So I'll be done in this and then 2 more cycles. Ooh, look, so I've got the beads and the Krynikin for the top bit. So I'm just working on doing the DMC for this, and then I'll go in and do the Krynik. I think it's only in the silver in the tree and then the gold outline of this black border. And then beads. So it shouldn't be too long. But I'm happy with that. That's fun. This is on a 28 count Dove Grey, is this one? By Zweigart. It's a fun little piece. I don't know. I was looking at frames. I got a few frames from the range. If you're in the UK, the range has loads of photo frames for a very reasonable price. They did have some that would fit. I think I need like a 6x6 for this, but I need a deep one for the beads, unless I don't keep the glass on. Maybe I don't keep the glass on. But then if I'm only going to bring it out at Christmas, I don't know. To be seen. But yeah, it's just a nitty bitty one. Yeah, so this one I'll keep out until that quarter is finished. The other one I'm going to still keep working on. I think I showed you this last time, and that's how much I've done. So this is Christmas Village by Mill Hill, doing the buttons and beads kits all on one piece of fabric. This is the police station. Yeah, because I told you I wasn't going to do the American flag. So this is what it looked like before, and this is how much I've done. This one sits downstairs, so I don't do as much on it, but Anna is at the grandfather's tonight, so maybe we'll get some good stitching done. I mean, we're like almost halfway, I guess. I kind of work from this side across. Just doing the stitches, not doing back stitching or beads. I'll wait until I've done them all, and then I go back and do that, so that'll be fun. But yeah, this is on a 28 count. We're not all 28 count. 28 count Dirty by Zweigart. It's a full yard because that's how much it takes. And yeah, I'll keep working on this one until it's finished. I don't like to put these away while one building is getting done. Just because I kind of lose where I am if I put it away. I've done that before, and that's when I get into a real slump with it. Now that I've got it on the magnet board, turnaround stuff, I'm touching it more. But yeah, I'll keep it out. So apologies for not taking it off the key snap, but I'm going to need that later. Where do I put it? There's a dog barking outside. I don't know if you can hear it. I don't know if it's annoying. Apologies if it is. This next one is Gran Melagrano by Renato Parolin. It's a long, skinny trout. Looks like this. And this is what I worked on. This is what it looked like before. This is what it looks like now. I think I did 2 pomegranates, or did I show you this last time? No. So yeah, this is one of the paper patterns that I've split up into rows, and even more ambiguity. It's not the word that I'm looking for. It's not straight rows. I've like cut it into sections of approximately 30 rows. So I get full leaves and full pomegranates in there. So you can see this one is kind of zoop, like that. So next time I'll be bringing the stalk down more, adding more leaves, and then doing kind of this back stitching to connect the leaves together. That's what I'll be doing within the next 30 rows. So yeah, I think I did 2 pomegranates and 9 leaves. So when I think maybe I take several pictures, because this takes me like several sessions, several days, and when I put it in Notion, I take a picture at the end of the day, or at the end of... I try and take a picture of each day that I've stitched on it, but I don't input that I've finished those rows until I have. So I might have like 4 pictures, 3 of them have got no progress, and then the last one will say 30 rows, just so I know that I've finished that section. Did that make sense at all? I feel like, I don't know. Anyway, so yes. This is a pattern that messes with my dyslexia, or it has symbols. It has like a symbol that's an equal sign, and then a symbol that's 3 lines, like an extra line on top of an equal sign. Why is it like that? So I did have to do some frogging on this one. So this is a linen banding. It's a 28 count, 1/1. So it takes a little while to get through, but it's getting there. I don't know if there's anything. No, it's still quite near the top. But happy to have a section done, and now I can record actually ticking off those sections on Notion, which feels really good. So the next project is the one that I take to Anna's swimming. This is Pumpkin Row by October House Fibre Arts. I think that's what it is. This is what it looked like before. I think I just had those 3 pumpkins. And then I did this one when we took Anna swimming on Sunday, and I sat on the edge of, observing while Alex was trying to help Anna to learn to float properly. She doesn't like to float. I had started this one, but I didn't have the thread with me for the body of it, so I didn't do that. Oh no, I think it was for there's like 2 zigzags. So I could have stitched the body, but then I would have to leave space for the zigzag. So I just decided to come over here and do this one. So I pulled the floss for this because it was in a different project. So I've pulled a length of it just so next time I've got it to be able to finish this one, because this one's the edge. And I think there's 2 more, and then some doodads under here, and it says pumpkins. Or pumpkin, I can't remember. This is part of the Skinny Mini series. So this is my second one. It's all on 36 count Speculas by Roxy Flosco. Yeah, they're very fun. Perfect when you're just sitting there waiting, when you don't want to sit and scroll, and the reception in the swimming pool is terrible anyway, so Instagram doesn't load. So I just like to know that that's my time to do my stitching. So yeah, I keep these little quilting clips just to keep it all ravelled, and then I do the sewing method for stitching. And that all stays in this little pouch. So I've got a little pair of scissors in there, I've got the pattern. I don't need a highlighter because I don't really lose my place with it. Next teeny little one. This is my Quirky Quaker Snail. This is Quirky Quaker Snail by Deanna, Darling and Whimsy. So he's not finished. We were, I think it was last weekend, the weekend before. We're in the garden because it was a lovely, lovely day. I wanted to do some stitching. I'd already kind of worked on the pumpkin row. So I decided to bring out Tiny Quaker Quaker. So this is on a 40 count, I believe, or 36 count. Maybe a 36 count. 36 count 1/1 with Gloriana Tudor Silk from the incomparable Natty. I'm doing these to put in an EPP quilt. And, you know, the size of these things, you should be able to knock them out in an evening. But when it's 1/1 on 36 count or 40 count, I'm not that fast. So it does take me quite a while. So I managed to do, I think I needed the rest of the shell. Here's what it looked like before. So here's what I've done. The rest of the shell, the green grass, the little clover thing, some of his face, I think. And that's where the rest, the outline starts. So there's still more to do. I have put this like back in my rotation because it used to just be that it would sit here on the desk, and I'd be like, oh well, I'll just do it when, you know, I've got a Zoom call to go on or something. And it never really ends up like that because it's 1/1, and usually when I'm at work it's not the best. I'm stressed about something probably. So I have put it back on my magnet board to actually dedicate it, and I think it'll just do the Quirky Quaker. So I haven't put Quirky Quaker Snail on there, it's just Quirky Quaker EPP. So every time that comes up, it'll just be do it, and you don't get to move on to another small project until it's done. Because it's been like, what? I wanted to start it last January 24, for WhipGo, and I was going to do like 2 or 3 a month. Didn't happen because I didn't have the right thread. Because I would have to do it over, some of them I might have to do over 56 count 1/1, which is fine, I can do that. But you need like a specialty floss, you can't just do it with DMC. So I didn't have that. So I had to wait until the end of April last year when I went to Stitch North and saw Natty, and she generously gave me lengths of her Tudor silk to even get the first one going, even get crab going. So it's been a year that I've had it, that I've had the floss, I've had fabric's not an issue, but I've only done 2. I've done crab and mouse, and I'm like kind of halfway through snail. And to have 2 and a bit in a year, because Stitch North just happened, is not as quick as I wanted to get that done. And it won't be done because it'll be one of those projects that will just keep going the more that our lovely Deanna releases Quirky Quakers. So I have to dedicate time to it. So it's gonna be in the rotation. It's the end of that story. So yeah. And then the last one to show you was Serbian Proverb. I think we went on Zoom just after the last time I filmed. So these are never in order of when I do things. It's just, I think it's alphabetical the way that Notion puts it in. So Trina and I had her Zoom for our Serbian Proverb that we are working on together. This is Serbian Proverb by La-di-da. This is on a 40 count Vala from Picture This Plus. Gorgeous. Using completely uncalled for colours. And I'm nearly done. I think I might be able to get this done on the next Zoom. Because I've just got the little tiniest bit of the border to join up. The inside of this flower. 3 more of these flowers. And then 3 and a bit stalks of leaves. And those leaves go fast. So we usually get on about, 9 o'clock my time on an evening. And depending on how my day's been, sometimes I can only do like 2 hours before I'm like, I've got to go to bed. Depending on how I'm feeling. I don't like to leave stuff when it's really close to a finish. So I think I'll just have to push through and maybe get this finished. I don't know if we'll meet before I next film. Maybe we should. Trina, if you're watching, I don't know if you watch. We should do it in the next 2 weeks and then I'll have another finish for a 6th video in a row with a finish. Okay. Is that doable? I'm jinxing myself now because that won't be. Anywho. So yeah, with the rose thing, that whole pattern is like 120 high, I want to say. And I put in 60 rows because I got right to the top, something like that. You don't know. It's not, the most accurate, because I obviously didn't stitch half of the pattern in one go, but I did like actually complete everything in those rows. That's that. So haul, I bought photo frames from the range, like I said, but I won't show you them because I don't know what they're going to be for. I kind of got some with some intentions, but I don't know if it's going to work, and some just because they were cute and like £2 maybe. But I did get a frame, this Archie frame from Universal Happy Gifts on Etsy, the Ukrainian company, and they do lots of very cute frames, like odd sizes and shapes like this arch. This is for Autumn Queen, that's what it's for. I'll put this down, I'll put in a picture because I don't want to have to wrangle it, of what Autumn Queen in that will look like. So this is Mirabilia Autumn Queen in her like full glory. It's a lot of dress and it gets cut off at the bottom as if like it's crop framed, but it's not. Do you know what I mean? Like she just didn't design the end of the dress, and I don't know if that's because she didn't have the room, like it had to be a certain size for a witch or whatever, when she's designing. But I didn't like that. I don't like to think it's cutting things off when you've done like the whole skirt, and then it's just like this tiny bit that we could have, you know. Anyway, I wasn't like in love with the skirt anyway. I was kind of thinking, what could I do with it? Whether I change some colours or I don't know. And then it was a couple of videos ago when I was talking about it, I'd just been working on it, and I was like, I should just cut it off and it'd be like a bust, you know, like a portrait. And I could do it in an oval or an arch. I put it on Instagram. The vote was more to the arch. And I kind of agreed once I'd put it on, and I was like, yeah, arch. So here's my whip with the arch just like placed on top. So I can know kind of where to stitch up to. I'll stitch like further out just so I know that I've got everything. It is quite a shallow frame to frame, so I won't put the glass in. It's not even glass, it's like that acrylic. And I'll have the beads on. So I'll put it on a foam core with some batting just to make it a bit poofy. But yeah, I'm really happy with that, how it will end up. And it means I don't have to stitch the whole skirt, which would take me another, you know, ever many years. A friend of mine wants the pattern because it's out of print. So get that off to her so she can use it. And then, you know, it's still a big frame, but it's not huge for a skirt. I think it'll look really cute, like above my bureau or something like that. I'm really excited for it. Yeah, it's the wood's good. The wood's good, and it's a nice shape, but the back is just a piece of cardboard, which makes it'll be easy to frame. I'll probably just put it in and then put maybe a bit of cardboard, but I'll be able to like put the craft paper and such on. It does come with a hook. It like sticks up, so I don't know if I'll use that or I take that off and put like a sawtooth one on. I don't know. I'm quite happy with it. It was £50 with the shipping, obviously from Ukraine. Took a while, took maybe like 4 weeks. Not really surprising. But yeah, you could maybe find something like that in a thrift, or, you know, TK Maxx does those weird art prints sometimes that are in weird shaped frames. You can take the art out, but having something that I know is the right size to then stitch up to where I need it to be, I was happy to pay for that. So yeah, I'll link the shop below if you want, because they do like really tiny stuff. So if you're doing a tiny stitch and you need a tiny frame, they have tiny frames too. Big frames and tiny frames. So plans. Megan and I are going to Zoom tomorrow, I think, to work on Angel of Love. I think I just need to do beads on a row, if I remember. We'll see tomorrow what we need to work on. So the only plans now that I have in terms of stitching on something consistently, because I finished my moon phase, so I had a little, you know, note every full and new moon to work on that. So the only thing in my plans now is to work on Sarah Watson every 22nd for my aunt's birthday. probably see you before I work on it next, but that's the only thing, in my do it on these dates rather than just wait until it comes round on the thing. I think that's okay. I think I don't know if I need to move anything to a structured thing so it gets finished. But if I want to keep having finishes, maybe, because it did work. A set thing. But I need a reason. Moonface, it was a full and new moon. Sarah Watson, the 22nd is my aunt's birthday, so I do that on each 22nd of the month, and that's how I'm going to get it finished. So we'll see if we need anything to get done, and then we'll find a reason, and then we'll put it in. So as I mentioned, my whip for up here will be Christmas tree mandala until that quarter's finished, and then downstairs will be Christmas village. Mill Hill will be downstairs until I get that finished. It's going to be very Christmassy here in May. And I think that's it for stitchy stuff. I'm probably forgetting something. I usually do. Probably not important though. Life stuff. We've been gardening a lot. Last week we were helping my mum with putting in some edging around her beds. So that was fun to see that come to life. Our garden, we put some plants in and it's looking okay, but I was like doing a feed, like where you put the liquid food in a watering can, and we have I think we worked out about 50 square meters of garden beds to water. And when you're doing that with liquid food, you go through quite a lot. So I decided to do a soil test to see what is actually needed, because we have some regular plants, and then we have ericaceous plants which need more acidic soil. So you could put coffee grounds in your compost or whatever in around that specific plant. So I thought, let's test a couple of areas of the soil to see what's kind of needed, rather than just put a general feed down. So we've been in this house 6 years, I think, 2018. November 2018. So 6 and a bit years. Wow, is that right? Gosh. And when we first came, the garden was a mess. We had to clean out a lot of stuff, like a really dilapidated greenhouse that we couldn't save, lots of just rubbish that was left in the garden, old broken pots and water butts, and we found a memorial, not like a headstone, but it was is someone missing this? Or is someone buried under the garden? So after we kind of cleared everything out, we then tried to make flower beds around the edge, put some lavender in. I love lavender. And the soil was it was pure clay. It was so thick and nothing was in it. There was no worms, no creepy crawlies that help everything be nice. So we mulched the heck out of the whole garden, which really helped the soil composition, I guess. But we've never really fed it in the 6 years that we've been here, apart from, the liquid food occasionally, but not really any kind of targeted stuff. So we've tested the soil. There is no nitrogen in the soil. Very little phosphorus, very little potassium. So we have a load of compost, and we're going to get really high strength fertilizer to go in it, to see if we can get some of the plants like thriving, because everything we've put in, it's not died, but it's like it's not doing great. It's not like growing as it should, because we put mostly things that come back year after year. I don't like bedding plants that I have to replace year after year. So nothing's really growing year on year. It's just kind of surviving. So I'm hoping that we can do that this weekend. The test that we got said that you need the fertilizer at certain percentages. What I've seen online is you kind of have to get industrial strength stuff, or use a lot of a lower grade stuff. So whether I'll have to order that, or I can get it at the garden centre or the DIY shop, or I don't know if I could if there's an actual landscaping place around, and I could convince them to just sell me a bucket, because we're going to need 3 kilos of nitrogen fertilizer. And then I'm like, if I order that online, does somebody start asking questions? I'm not sure. So let me know if you know anything about that, because I really don't, and I'm just going by what I've read online from garden people, that yes, you need this amount, and it's not just gonna, a bit of miracle grow won't really help. You need to actually put it in the soil, because there's nothing in the soil. It's just dirt. So that's my gardening life. Oh, and we need to hop the fence to our neighbours. Our neighbours are there's a bit of land behind kind of our cluster of neighbours that when we bought the house, we saw it on the plans, on the deeds, that this bit of land doesn't really belong to anybody, but our neighbours have said that it's theirs, and we haven't really disputed it because it's fine. They're not using it. They've got their fence where the boundary says, or even that's a bit contentious, but they have a fence and then this bit of land that's just, it's a bit wild, which is great for wildlife. I see lots of birds and stuff in there, and the rest of their garden is just they've just put gravel down, so there's no grass, there's no flowers for anything else. So but there is a lot of ivy back there, and ivy is very invasive. It gets in everything. It can be very destructive to fencing and other plants that you have. So they're away. So I said, could I hop the fence and cut back some of the ivy? And they said, yeah, go for it. So I did a bit of that the other day to get started and fill up the garden bin that gets taken this morning. But there's a lot more to do back there. So I think that might be tomorrow. I cut an ivy stem, whatever you call it, that big. And I had to do it with a pair of pliers, I don't know, this pair of loppers, whatever you call them, were in the shed when we bought the house. So Lord knows how old they are, and they're as blunt as anything. So I convinced Alex to buy a mini chainsaw for his power drill. I just want to play with a chainsaw, really. But there's other like big chunky plants that need kind of keeping on top of. I don't want to clear it because it's great for wildlife, but it needs containing, you know. The fence that it faces, for us, I've got a lovely rhododendron there that's not doing great. I'm hoping it will grow more after we do the soil conditioning. And the ivy, I've like caught the ivy creeping up on it a few times. So it just needs looking after. And the neighbours, they're like in their, I don't want to offend them, but like maybe late 60s. So he does go in there and cut back a bit when it gets really big in the summer. But obviously he doesn't concentrate like on our fence. So I guess we're all just helping each other out on the piece of land that he probably technically doesn't own. Anyway, that was probably a long rant about gardening. That's about it. I'm going to see if I need to do any more emails because I've calmed down after my presentation that went okay. I'll see if I need to do anything before I clock off for the weekend, and it's going to be good weather, so I'm going to go enjoy it. Happy stitching, and I will see you soon.